Greetings all. So, The Flash. Let's just say huge scale, high drama, superheroes, family emotional interaction, comedy, action movie. That's a high target, that's big specification. So did they pull it off? Yeah, let's see.
Are you ready?
Ready. Let's go.
Okay, so the storyline. Agonizing over the fact that his father is falsely imprisoned, Barry runs faster than the speed of light and ends up going back in time. So he realizes that if he can go back in time, first he can maybe find a way to have his father's conviction for murdering his mother overturned, and then he realizes he could even save his mother.
Bruce, I could fix things.
You could also destroy everything.
So he does it, and the way that he does it seems pretty innocuous. It shouldn't make any changes, right? No. He's punched by a dark assailant out of the faster than light scenario that he manages to put himself into. And he ends up in a different timeline with major consequences, which are explained to him when he finally tracks down the alternative Batman who's in that reality, the 2013 timeline. And he realizes that he's changed the past as well as the future. A very interesting little argument, explanation by the Batman he encounters on this timeline. And he transfers his powers accidentally to the 2013 version of himself. So trying to give that guy the powers according to his own timeline, he ends up taking them from himself. And he transfers them to 2013 Barry, who's a bit of a wimp.
It's my face. You stole my face.
Bit of a mummy's boy because his mother didn't die. So that's the story. Now the premise is stated by Barry's mother, which is that some problems don't have a solution and you have to let them go. Doesn't seem like a big deal. It seems like a bit of kitchen philosophy. However, they prove this within the story when we see what happens to new Barry, 2013 Barry, trying to find a solution in the multiverse they find themselves in to the situation they're not happy with, where various people die and things go wrong. It looks like basically the end of the world on that timeline.
This can't be happening. I completely broke the universe. Zod.
We've been waiting for you.
So the multiverse won't allow the changes no matter how many times that new Barry, new Flash, goes back in time to try to change it. And this has other consequences. So they're wading into causality, free will, fate, destiny, big topics for basically a superhero movie. So let's talk about the characters. Ezra Miller. Now he brilliantly plays the Flash as we know him, the Flash who doesn't have any powers, that's new Barry, Flash who loses his powers, new Barry who becomes new Flash with the powers, and Flash, old Flash, lost his powers, gets his powers back. So quite a lot, and I think he does it flawlessly. Fantastically done. Both characters different. I don't think he puts a foot wrong in the whole movie. It's just really, really well done.
My name is Kara.
I'm
Well, we're Barry.
He has to handle comedy, tragedy, superhero moments. He does it all really, really well. So definitely awesome. Sasha Kala plays Kara, who is basically, I think, Superman's cousin in some variation. Some of the themes she plays, Supergirl, Superwoman, whatever we're supposed to call her these days, Supermuz. Awesome. Really, really well done. Strong, charismatic, Henry Cavill-like. There's no higher praise than that. Michael Keaton, yes.
You are?
Yeah. I'm Batman.
Awesome as the Batman on this alternative timeline that they find themselves on.
He's Bruce Wayne as Batman?
Not really, not so much anymore. You know, they don't really need me.
finally he actually fights properly. So in my previous review of the Pattinson Batman, I criticized him because he's crazy and he's very charismatic, but he just didn't carry it off in terms of his combat skills. And this one he does. And fantastic, absolutely amazing to see him back, and just a superb performance. Absolutely loved it.
You want to get nuts? Let's get nuts.
Then Maribel Verdú, Barry's mum. Very challenging role, pulled off sweetly. She's playing mum. So the trick was to make it sentimental and sweet, but not sycophantic, not over the top. Presumably, that's why the Spanish government film fund was somehow involved in the project. But very interesting choice. It's not explained why she's Spanish, and doesn't matter. Why not? She can be Spanish. Beautiful performance. Really enjoyed it. The film has Easter eggs galore. Hilarious, where the Michael J. Fox, Kevin Bacon, Eric Stoltz have all swapped roles in Back to the Future, Footloose, etc. Really, really cleverly done. There's a little cameo, Nicolas Cage, one of the Superman in one of the alternative multiverses. There was a movie written by Kevin Smith, I believe, that was going to be a movie with Nicolas Cage as Superman. And it got canned, and one of the things that was contentious about it was a giant spider being brought in, and we see this in this variation. Funny little cameo, Easter egg. Christopher Reeve, anybody over 40 would get a lump in their throat when they see Christopher Reeve in one of the multiverses.
Hey, Jim! Whoa! Excuse me. That's a bad outfit.
With what happened to him, poor guy. Funny lines like when the two Flashes are lined up to fight together against the Kryptonians, and our Flash says to new Flash, "Come on, Barbie." And it's completely out of nowhere. It doesn't make any sense. And then new Barbie's like, let's go party. Brilliantly done. Funny, out of nowhere, but just works. And then, of course, we have George Clooney, the other Batman, arriving at the end. And I was thinking to myself, wait a minute, we're missing Val Kilmer. But of course, he couldn't appear. It could have deep faked him, I suppose. But fantastic. There's just one slight problem with that scene is at the end when Barry comes out of the court having vindicated his father. It's pretty obvious to anybody British that that's not the United States when he comes outside and George Clooney turns up as Bruce Wayne. It's very UK looking, and I believe some of the movie was shot in Glasgow. And it sort of took me out of the movie for a second there that it was obviously, I think it was Glasgow, it wasn't anywhere in the States. Anyway, so did they do it? A massive scope, a simple premise, reference again to the love of a mother and a child, and not criticizing another film that tried to do that for everybody everywhere and failed, I think. Explores that mother-child relationship.
I could save my mom. I could save your parents.
Really well, sensitively, and a horrible situation that the protagonist is placed. Very well handled, I thought. Just really, really sensitive, delicately done, not too much. Definitely brought a tear to my eye. Multiple versions of superheroes. Yes, it was a thrill ride in multiple emotional and physical dimensions. Fantastic movie, one of the best I've seen for a while, and that surprises me to say that. We're left with questions, however, which is this a Batman movie? Does it count? It's not really, it's sort of a Flash movie, but it's almost really a Batman movie. Slightly disappointing that Superman never turns up, but each of the alternative realities, particularly with super female super person, not LGBTQ stuff pushed down your throat, nothing over woke. It was just like, hey, why not? It could be like this, yeah, of course. I can go with that. But now we have to ask ourselves, who killed Barry's mother if it wasn't the father?
Barry! Call 911 now!
And why? it's not likely, it's not impossible, but it's not likely that somebody would stage a house break-in at dinner time, because that's when most likely people are going to be at home. So I don't think it's one of those scenarios where a break-in went awry and the burglar overreacted and then fled the scene, because it seems like they didn't take anything, which makes me think they were after somebody in that house. Was it the mother? Was it because maybe she's pregnant with another super child to be? Were they after the father for some reason? Is there something we don't know about him? Were they after young Barry? Do they know that he's going to become the Flash? And all those questions are just crying out, sequel. And after this performance, bring it on. So, was it good? Yeah, it's good.
You're strapped to your parachutes.
Where's yours?